Hello everyone, I'm gonna take you through the OPIAID interface as well as some of the functions that we've envisioned for the project. So what you see here is the interface that you see during an operation. Now, what we've changed here is that we have this panel over here on the right hand side. In this panel is the recommendation that OPIAID gives during the operation. This panel includes the ability to see the recommended dosage, the confidence on that dosage, the pre-operative recommendations, which we'll get to, as well as the ability to change opioid type. Now, the value here lies in that the nurse during an operation can see the recommended dosage without it impacting her workflow. And that's an important distinction to make, that this dosage, this morphine dosage up here, changes during the operation based on new continuous variable updates. Now, if the nurse disagrees or just wants to explore what lies behind this recommendation, they can press this Open OPIAID button. When they press this button, it opens up the OPIAID dashboard, where you can see details for how things have been calculated. You see which variables have impacted the overall score in a SHAP value. You also see down here the events that have impacted the dosage. But not all people are visual people, so you can also change this to be as a list, or down here you can change it to be in a graph instead, for example, however you want it. Now, if a nurse doesn't agree with this dosage and wants to see what lies behind it more specifically, they can open up the variable page. And in here you see all the variables that have had an impact on the prediction or the recommendation. So as a nurse, I can say, hey, the age, them being 80, I don't think that matters that much, so I can turn that off. And then I can say, hey, save changes, and then it adjusts the dose to 23 milligrams, which is more aligned with what I'm thinking. I can also go in and see more specific details around how things have been calculated in terms of pain and in terms of side effects. Now, if we imagine that I as a nurse agreed with what was here in the first place, then I could just press the administer button, which takes me directly to the medicine module and also directly to the chosen opioid type. And then I get this little button with the recommendation that opioid gave me. And I can then press that, go over and administer the dosage and press administer. And then it gives me this little text saying, yeah, you administered it correctly. And that's kind of the basic workflow of the OPIAID platform. But there's also the matter of the pre-chart, where we've also implemented OPIAID. Now, for the pre-chart, not much has changed. The doctor can still go in and select or deselect elements that they want on the pre-chart. But what we've changed is that we've added this OPIAID recommendation panel here up in the top. If you press that, then OPIAID will take the variables that are accessible at this point in time and make a recommendation based on that. What I can then do is that I can select the different elements of the recommendation that I want on my pre-chart. For example, I would like the recommended dosage. I would also like the infection number in terms of pain. And I would also like an additional pain treatment method. Then I can press implement in chart, which will create this little additional box with the things I chose on the last screen. Thank you for following along. And if you have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out.